Now, it like I said, it took years before things escalated further. So you're thinking between like 13 and 16, there's just so much. Now, mind you, while I am being sexually molested by my stepfather consistently, I'm going to school. I know that my out was education. So if I studied hard and I'm getting into these clubs and I'm doing this and doing that, that one, it would keep me out of the house. Two, it would up my chances for me to be able to get out the house when I turned 18. And it would give me an opportunity to possibly be away. And looking back on a lot of situations, I think I was putting out hints to some people, but no one was catching those hints. Or I was hoping that someone would look. And it didn't happen. And I'm not blaming any of the elders in my family, or I'm not blaming any of, my family members that didn't know.
But I mean, just you still want somebody to take notice, and you're wondering like.
Yeah. I definitely think that in a lot of Black homes, you tend to find that people will ignore certain things because it's none of their business. Or the old adage of what goes on in this house stays in this house. You don't go running your mouth to people out in the street. And that went for some family members. So you have all of these things going on, and everybody is doing their own thing and being with their own families, and we're coming together at times. It never was the same for me. I always felt like the outsider. And even though my family, they still loved me and treated me the same, I couldn't feel that a lot of times because of this damage that was being done to me. Made me want to seclude myself even more because I didn't feel worthy of the love that my family was trying to give me or was giving me, because I was being hurt at the same time, so close to home. But it was rough. So I get to high school, 16, and I am at Oakland Catholic. Oakland Catholic was not my cup of tea. I thought that I wanted it because, it was a really good school. And coming from Holy Rosary, your high school choice was important. They made it seem like it was really important. So, getting to Oakland Catholic was awesome.
But I mean, being a girl from Garfield, you still wanted to go to Peabody like everybody from around the way.
No, it was funny. I actually wanted to go to Shenley because Shenley at the time, in the 90s, Shenley was the shit. Like, all the cool kids went there, and they were smart, and they were like in the middle of Oakland with the colleges. Like, that was the high school to be at. So, yeah, I'm telling you. And so I wanted to go there. But anyway, spent 2 years at Oakland Catholic, and situation being hard-headed and stubborn and fighting back, because that was the only thing that at that time I could fight back with was authority at school. I couldn't fight back authority at home because of the repercussions of those actions. So I was fighting back at school, and, you know, they decided that maybe another learning facility would be better. So I remember specifically telling my mom, like, okay, cool. So that means I can go to Shenley, right? And mom goes, no, you're on a Peabody. Excuse me, what, ma'am? What did you say? Peabody? But I heard they have gang members at Peabody. I don't know how I feel about it. Like, that's how it was. Like, even though I lived in the hood and I had friends and we hung out and stuff, there was just so many things that I just was not ready for.
Gangsters at school.
Yeah.
Until
I wasn't ready for it. So I get to Peabody. The first time I had ever been through a metal detector outside of an airport was at Peabody. But once again, a time when I'm supposed to be finding out what boy likes me and this and that, and, you know, thinking about homecomings and proms and all those things, and being a normal teenager while I was in the confines of school. I was a teenager. I was a regular, awkward teenager at school. And then I would go home, and I literally had to maneuver around my house to either stay in the presence of other people or to stay out of the way enough that people will forget that I was actually around. So there was this really weird cat and mouse that I did for a long time. Either stay around other people so that you're not singled out, or single yourself out so much that nobody realizes that you're gone.
As a high school kid, this has to be a nightmare.
It was horrible. But I also knew that with the craziness that was going on inside the four walls of my home, I had to figure out an exit plan, because I knew I couldn't continue to go through what I was going through. So there was an incident in a junior year in high school. So I finally said yes to this boy, James Watson, number 50 on the football squad at Peabody. I was in love. You couldn't tell me nothing. I was in love. From 7 a.m. until 3 p.m. Because I was never to even think or consider having or talking to a boyfriend. Never. It was clear, it was made clear. And it wasn't unspoken word. It was very clearly said, and everyone knew that Tia could not have a boyfriend. Could not. Wasn't happening. Now, mind you, I'm 16, 17 years old.
Awkward dates to
No.
movies and
Was not allowed.
And nobody ever questioned this? Like, why can't we let her experiment a little? Or was it just set in stone?
It was questioned. It was questioned after an incident. So me and my high school boyfriend decided it was time to, hang out outside of school. And I'm gonna risk it. That's my man. He said he wants to take me out. Shit, he gonna take me out. And I had a purple Geo Metro, and I loved it. I saved up for this car. So I drove my car from Garfield all the way to Dormont to go meet my boyfriend. Because I figured, smart me, I don't want to be too close to home. So if I go out to Dormont, that at least gives me some distance where I won't be caught. I mean, that made sense. So I make the story up of I'm going to go hang out with my girlfriend. We're going to go to the library, something like that. Go out to Dormont. No, actually, I think I was going to go hang out with my sister. Go out to Dormont, pick up my boyfriend. We're having conversation in the car. Boyfriend, girlfriend conversation, and, a little kissy here, kissy there. And we go to the movies, and we had an amazing date.
So it was your first date, and it was going great.
It was wonderful. It was great. And I was like, yes, this is my boyfriend. And I was so excited. And I remember getting home, and I go upstairs, and I hear what sounds like rewinding. I'm like, okay. Back then we have VCRs or cassettes or things like that. Okay. Later on, it's time for a sit down, talk. Come, Tia, let's talk. And here, in a recorder, there was a recorder under the seat in my car.
Wait, what?
There was a recorder, small little recorder about yay big, that had the little tapes in them.
And all you were doing was going on a first date.
I was going on a date. Mind you, I had been dating this boy for some time. But this is the first time I had went out after school, after a time I would normally go. Yeah. And I hear nothing scandalous, nothing crazy, but I was given an ultimatum. And the ultimatum was that either I broke up with him or he would be broken up with for me. Now, the person that married my mother was a very violent, sick, diabolical, he had put so much fear into me for so long. I was guaranteed, and I fully believed it, that if I did not go to school the next day to break up with my boyfriend, something terrible was going to happen to him. I was sure of it. So I go to school, I'm upset because I had to tell this boy that I am madly in love with.
After this amazing date.
After this amazing date, I'm actively in puppy love with this boy. And I have to tell him, I can't see you no more. And the way that situation blew up, I mean, teenagers that are hurt. He was a football player, so, you just don't break up with no football player and not think, in school, in front of people, not loud or anything, but like off to the side, but enough that if his feelings are hurt, he's gonna hurt your feelings. So we get into it, in school, because I break up with him and he said things and I said things, and at one point I said I was gonna slash his tires. It was a mess. But still and yet, I still would have rather dealt with that teenage crap, that teenage bullshit, than deal with the evil that lived in my home. I could have been called whatever. Did it hurt? Absolutely. But it's
you
still...
Deep down, like, you were lying to this boy. You didn't feel that way. You just...
No.
You just had to protect him and your...
I did. I had to protect him. I was actively... Now, mind you, while all this stuff is going on, I am in the mindset of almost like a soldier, because I was protecting all of these people that had no idea the weight that I was carrying in protecting them. Nobody knew. And that's a heavy load to carry as a teenager. As a teenager. Now, let alone all the regular teenage things that you have to go through, but at the core, thinking that you have to protect the people that are closest to you from what this man is telling you he would do. And that's what you do. You sacrifice yourself so that other people don't get hurt.
As a child, you should have never been feeling this way. You should have never been thinking that way. You're still trying to get the prom.
Prom was a whole nother... It's really sad, because as a 43-year-old woman, to look back at milestones of my teenage years, they were all tarnished. They were all tarnished. Getting a car, having a boyfriend, going to the prom. Milestones that any teenager should be happy to go through. I just remember traumatic experiences happening around them. So the impact is different. So I get through high school, and it's time for me to go to college. Now, I really wanted to go out of state. And most of the schools I applied to were out of state. Now, I remember my guidance counselor telling me, pick some in-state schools as well. There's a lot of great schools here in Pennsylvania.
Trying to get you to go to Penn State.
Oh, yeah. But it was just like, we're not paying out-of-state dues. Definitely by the time I got to high school, I understood the financial impact of what was going on in our house. I knew it. Like, when you have to start working, or when you start working and you're handed a bill at 16, 17 years old. You're no longer like a kid anymore.
You're not working
paying
to buy
bills.
shoes, and now you're
Yeah.
like, helping keep the lights on, keep
Yeah.
it warm in here.
Yeah. Like I had to make my
all this
way.
Other stuff is going on. So you had to grow up way too fast.
Yeah, I did. Now, on the outside, things looked okay. They looked okay. But there were two people that were colliding. Me trying to save myself and a predator. Every day. And it's really unfortunate because now, as I look back, I missed a lot of family things with my cousins and my aunts and things like that because I was going through such a struggle on my own. You know, I can't tell you, I can't tell you. I remember meeting them and they were always around, but any of my cousin's friends, no idea. No one. When my cousins have like birthday parties and things like that, I remember none of them.
So it's almost like a time period that you would say you like blocked out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. My one cousin, she sent me a picture of myself. Number one, the picture to me as an adult, who I am now, didn't look like me. Yes, it looked like me, but there was a vacancy in my eyes. I don't remember the picture. I don't remember the context, what was going on, who took the picture, none of it. There's huge chunks of my life that are just gone. And it's really sad because there's moments that someone in my family will mention and I'm like, I never knew that. And I missed out on a lot of interaction with my family because so much going on. And looking back, you don't understand or appreciate those little things like a birthday party or like, going to a party with, with people because your mind has blocked out so much of a chunk of your memory to get rid of a traumatic memory. So if you have a line from A to D, and at C, something traumatic happens, instead of remembering A, B, and D, your mind will only remember C. And your mind is saying that is too much, so I'm going to get rid of it all. All of it. That whole chunk. So there's a lot of memories growing up that were good ones that I just don't remember. And that sucks. But I finally got to college.